The last news note I wanted to cover, actually two Bucks news notes here. Pat Connaughton signed a 3-year, $30 million extension with the Bucks. I apparently had no feel for this year's market, and I'm getting increasingly worse at having a feel for what players are going to get paid. He picked up his $5.7 million player option. So this is essentially a 4-year, $36 million deal. He's not signed for the next 4 years at less than the non-taxpayer level exception. I just thought relative to the wing market, there would have been teams that gave him the full mid-level exception, and a 4-year deal on that would have been worth into the 40s. So closer to, PJ Tucker got 3 years and $33 million from the Sixers. Pat Connaughton got 4 years and $36 million from the Bucks. That's just, PJ Tucker has proved himself over again, but Connaughton's younger at 29, so this is going to take him through his, I think it's his age 33, might be his age 34 season at this point. I think he just wrapped up his age 29. I'll double check as I'm recording that. But he came super valuable to the Bucks even before the Khris Middleton injury. Just someone who can play defense. He's only 6'5", but he's going to give you actual wing defense. Shot the three ball really well the past few seasons, but last season specifically, 39.5% on 5.7 attempts, 60.5% of his twos. There is some really explosion to his game if he's going to go downhill or even just around the basket. Incredibly valuable. And so, yeah, this takes him through his age 34 season. Maybe age came into play with that, but I thought he would have gotten paid more. It's a bargain for the Bucks. Maybe he's happy with his role there. But he did win the championship with the Bucks. Why wouldn't you be happy with his role there? So real estate connoisseur Pat Connaughton is staying with the Milwaukee Bucks for the next 4 years. Is under a 4-year deal. That's big time for them because they do need wing help. But in other Milwaukee Bucks news and less savory news at that, it was announced today that Khris Middleton underwent wrist surgery to repair a ligament in his left wrist. This comes after he had I think it was the left knee injury during the playoffs that caused him to miss the rest of the Bucks postseason. And look, if they have him in that Celtics series, there's a real chance that maybe the Bucks are champions right now, or they were at least the team that was repping the East in the finals. So, it was a left knee sprain for Middleton. This sucks. They did say that they anticipate him to be ready like around the start of the regular season. And so you're talking about someone who it doesn't sound like he's going to be available for training camp. He's coming back from a knee injury, now a wrist injury, going to turn 31 in August. His is a game that should age well anyway. There's no long-term concern there. Just something to monitor. Can they figure out a way to maybe get another wing? And I think his presence, along with Connaughton, and then, of course, having Drew Holiday allows you to downsize in ways where it's like even if Giannis is playing with Bobby Portis, or maybe you wanted to downsize to the point where Giannis is really the de facto 5. It gets a lot harder to do that now because Joe Ingles, who you signed, I liked the signing, but he's probably out until February. Now you're not going to have Khris Middleton, I would guess, to start the season. You start to run out of wings really quickly. It's very good for them that they brought back Wesley Matthews. Myself and Ty Windish from the Eurostep podcast will be elated that maybe Marshawn Beauchamp gets to have some reps. If he hits the 3 ball at like a league average clip in the NBA, based off what he can do inside the arc and like, I'll call it malleability because I don't know if it's necessarily scalable, but he's definitely flexible on the defensive end. I think the number 24 pick, he has a chance to be one of the bigger steals we look back upon. Maybe he gets some early rotation minutes. Are you leaning just a lot on Grayson Allen? That's an issue. Are you able to acquire another wing somehow as a result of all these trades that seem like they're going to go down? I mean, Utah doesn't really have any wings that would help you, if we're being honest. Malik Beasley would definitely be a defensive upgrade over a Grayson Allen if that's the minutes you're sort of looking at. You would have to defend. You would have to play either Connaughton or Beasley up a ton since they're both kind of like 2s. I trust Connaughton actually more at the 3 as a decision maker defensively than Beasley, even though his physical tools are better. Maybe there are cheaper wings. What does it take to get Kenrich Williams out of OKC? He would help Milwaukee a ton right now. Jay Crowder's availability is floated out a ton in Phoenix. You could probably justify if DeAndre Ayton's leaving and maybe Phoenix doesn't get a big back. Does Brook Lopez for Jay Crowder make sense? That's a lot to give up for the Bucks because Brook Lopez is really important to what they're doing too, playing alongside Giannis, as my voice cracks. My whole point is I don't have a long-term concern here. It's if Khris Middleton's good for the playoffs, the Bucks need to be no worse than the 3rd favorite to come out of the East. There's Boston, there's Milwaukee, and like that's it for me right now. I'm becoming very close to maybe putting Philly in that. Just James Harden doing the about face into like a protagonist He's in shape, took a $15 million pay cut. I'm not endorsing it, but I'm just like the story behind it so that the Sixers can get PJ Tucker and Daniel House, use the mid-level, non-taxpayer mid-level and the biannual both. And then the fact that he left Brooklyn because of Kyrie, and I just can't stand Kyrie, he's quickly become a protagonist for me. And I was never one to really despise James Harden to begin with. I know a lot of people don't like him based off his, I guess, the way he left Houston and Brooklyn, which, fair, based off his party life or the way he's come into camp out of shape at points, where it seems like he's always working his way into shape. And then, of course, his playoff follies. Fantastic player, though. I'm not ready to put Philly there, and I don't think there's anyone else. Even Atlanta, post DeJounte, have higher hopes for Cleveland this year if Chicago stays healthy. Miami's probably the closest. Miami or Toronto. Miami, Toronto, and Philly are like that tier, but it's Milwaukee and Boston. And we don't need, I don't know if people are forgetting to talk about Milwaukee, but because they're absent, this huge splash in free agency, and now Middleton's injured, and because of the fact that Boston is just the toast of the East at this point, and again, they made a big move with Brogdon. The Sixers made some bigger moves with Tucker, Daniel House. Melton's going to be fantastic for them. Miami maybe ending up with Kevin Durant or Donovan Mitchell. If they get them, yeah, we'll relitigate this. But it's Boston and Milwaukee and everyone else still in the East to me. And I think Philly, Miami are the closest there. Maybe Toronto.